The horrific terror attack that unfolded in New Zealand overnight. Not one, but two mosques in Christchurch were targeted, the country's worst mass shooting ever. At least 49 people were killed and dozens wounded during services. They were in prayer. The mosques are just 3 miles apart. The victims who did get out covered in blood were rushed to the hospital. The gunman who wrote of white nationalism was armed with at least 2 semi-automatic weapons and 2 rifles. Many of the survivors barely escaping, scaling walls to get through windows, police racing to the scene, officers chasing down the suspect who was dressed in army fatigues. Tonight, what we've just learned about the gunman and what our correspondent just asked President Trump. Does he see white nationalism as a rising threat around the world? His response, and New Zealand's Prime Minister now responding to that. ABC's Will Carr is on the scene for us in New Zealand tonight.
Tonight, chaos and shock. Unimaginable horror after a deadly anti-Muslim terror attack on 2 separate mosques in New Zealand. At least 49 worshippers dead, 48 more injured. Witnesses tonight described the terror when the first shots rang out.
It was 1:42 when the gun started shooting.
Everybody just ran toward the back doors just to save themselves.
Witnesses say a gunman wearing all black, clad in a helmet and a bulletproof vest, entered the Al Noor Mosque in the city of Christchurch. He then ruthlessly opened fire during a packed Friday prayer service. Ramzan Ali, who had blood splattered on his shirt, says he hid when the gunman walked in and was the last to escape alive.
I just lie down under the bench and I'm thinking that, if I get out, I'll get shot. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed so I could be alive. The blood is spitting on me, splashing on me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen to me now.
A video has surfaced appearing to show the suspect live streaming his vicious attack in graphic detail, a video we will not show here. The gunman moves from room to room, firing his automatic weapon for some 6 minutes, killing at least 41 men, women, and children in the first mosque.
I saw some people had blood on their body and some people were limping on the floor. The bullet shells, so many, hundreds.
The video then appears to show the gunman driving to the next target, the Linwood Mosque, 3 miles away. 7 more victims were murdered as armed police swarmed the scene, running, guns drawn. In this video posted on social media, a police vehicle seen having just rammed this car off the road. 2 officers, guns pointed towards the vehicle. Moments later, the officers making an arrest. The suspect, Britton Tarrant, seen here, his image blurred in court, arrested and charged with murder. Tarrant, in his late 20s, originally from Australia, IEDs were also found.
2 explosive devices attached to suspects' vehicles have now been found and they have been disarmed.
Meanwhile, 2 other armed suspects have been taken into custody. Their association at this hour is unknown. This is a rambling, hate-filled message was posted online around the time of the attack, purported to be written by the suspect. In it, praising Norwegian mass murderer Anders Behring and American Dylan Roof, who killed 9 people in the Charleston church attack in 2015, saying he'd been planning the attack for 2 years. He also writes about President Donald Trump as a renewed symbol of white identity. The president, meanwhile, has sent his condolences and spoken with New Zealand's Prime Minister.
I told the Prime Minister that the United States is with them all the way. 100%, whatever they need, we will be there.
Tonight, New Zealand in mourning. The country has never seen a major terror attack before. So many of the victims, refugees escaping terror in war elsewhere.
They have chosen to make New Zealand their home, and it is their home. They are us. The person who has perpetuated this violence against us is not.
And Will Carr reporting in from the scene in New Zealand tonight. We can see just one of the makeshift memorials up all over that city. And will have authorities said tonight whether or not they're certain this threat is entirely over?
David, tonight authorities here have not definitively said that the threat is over. They are still on high alert here. They're asking for residents in this area to stay indoors in their homes, and they're asking for mosques across the country to stay closed, at least temporarily. David.
All right, Will Carr leading us off tonight from New Zealand. Will, thank you. As I mentioned at the top tonight, the president was asked about the threat of white nationalism around the world just a short time ago. So let's bring in our Terry Moran tonight, because it was Terry who asked the question, and the president's answer, as you know, Terry, made immediate global headlines. Let's listen.
Do you see today white nationalism as a rising threat around the world?
I don't really. I think it's a small group of people that have very, very serious problems. I guess if you look at what happened in New Zealand, perhaps that's a case. I don't know enough about it yet. They're just learning about the person and the people involved. But it's certainly a terrible thing, terrible thing.
So let's bring in Terry. Tonight, New Zealand's prime minister is now responding to what the president has said, and even the FBI here at home has been quite clear on this.
No question, David. The prime minister responded. She made clear she disagrees with President Trump. And as you say, the FBI, counterterrorism experts, law enforcement around the world, they would disagree too. The FBI says that hate crimes rose 17% in this country in 2017. And they also say, counterterrorism experts, that extremist-related killings, 70% of them were committed by members of the far-right or white supremacist movements in the United States over the last decade. And in Western Europe, the threat of terrorism by the far-right is on the rise, too. It's real, and it is growing. David?
Terry Moran at the White House on this tonight. Terry, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.